In the episode, When Fire from the Sky Hit the Yucatán, the host William Shatner takes viewers deep into one of Earth's most cataclysmic events, the impact of a massive extraterrestrial object on the present-day Yucatán Peninsula in Mexico. This event is tied to the formation of the Chicxulub Crater, which scientists believe marks the boundary of the end of the Cretaceous period and the arrival of an extinction-level catastrophe. The program explores how this fire from the sky, the asteroid or comet strike, reshaped life on Earth, and asks what the implications are for our understanding of planetary vulnerability, ancient civilizations, and the unexplained mysteries that still surround this event. Against a backdrop of dramatic reconstructions, expert commentary, and geological evidence, the episode invites reflection on how a singular moment of cosmic violence changed everything. The setting: Yucatán and the crater. We begin with a description of the Yucatán Peninsula, a region of limestone plateau, cenotes, sinkholes, tropical forest, and coastal plains. Buried beneath this land and partially offshore lies the Chicxulub Crater, a circular formation roughly 180 kilometers in diameter and tens of kilometers deep. The show lays out the chain of discovery: geophysical surveys, drilling cores, seismic imaging, and eventual consensus among scientists that this crater marks the impact site of a roughly 10 to 15 km wide asteroid that struck the Earth about 66 million years ago, at the Cretaceous-Paleogene, or KPG, boundary. In dramatic terms, the host describes how the object came hurtling from space, blasting through the atmosphere, and striking with the force of tens of billions of nuclear bombs, generating heat, shockwaves, tsunamis, and a global cloud of debris. The phrase, fire from the sky, conjures both the initial flaming entry and the fiery consequences of the impact: molten rock, ejecta raining down, forests burning, oceans heaving. The visuals in the episode underscore the magnitude, aerial radius of destruction, rings of collapsed crust, the widespread distribution of ejecta, and evidence of massive tsunami waves. One sequence compares the event to modern nuclear bombs, but emphasizes that the scale was orders of magnitude larger, a truly planetary event. The immediate catastrophe. The episode then lays out how the catastrophe would have unfolded, minute by minute. Upon atmospheric entry, the meteor would generate a superheated shockwave, incinerating everything in its path. On impact, the force would excavate a crater tens of kilometers wide, throwing enormous volumes of rock and water into the atmosphere and back into the Earth's crust. The transient cavity may have been approximately 100 kilometers across initially. The impact would trigger massive earthquakes, magnitude perhaps 9+, supersonic winds, global firestorms, molten rock spherules raining down, and a global dust and aerosol cloud blocking sunlight. In the oceans, the collapse and rebound of the crater would generate tsunamis perhaps hundreds of meters high, propagating across the Gulf of Mexico and beyond. On land, forests would burn, animals and plants would struggle, the sunlight blockage, impact winter, would halt photosynthesis, collapse food chains, and produce a mass extinction. The episode emphasizes that the event didn't just affect the immediate region, it triggered a chain reaction of ecological collapse around the globe. The host states something like, "A single moment in the Yucatán changed every ecosystem on Earth." Experts brought in on the show explain how sediment cores show a layer of impact glass, iridium anomaly, shocked quartz, and soot, all correlated with the time of the crater. These serve as the smoking gun, confirming the impact and its wider fallout. The show likely shows images of the iridium layer and the crater ring visible by radar. Aftermath and recovery. The next section addresses what happened in the hours, days, years and millions of years after the blast. The host narrates, "In the hours, the skies darkened, temperatures soared near the blast then plummeted globally. A rain of molten debris scoured ecosystems. In the days to months, global cooling set in, impact winter, perhaps lasting months to years, driving massive die-offs, especially among large animals and plants reliant on sunlight. In the years, recovery began, but ecosystems were drastically changed. In the fossil record we see the end of the non-avian dinosaurs, dramatic turnover of marine species, and the rise of mammals. In the millions of years, a new world emerged, angiosperms, flowering plants diversified, mammals radiated, the dominant paradigm shifted." The episode underscores that the Yucatán impact is widely regarded as the key driver, though not the only one, of the Cretaceous mass extinction event. The host raises some caveats. Volcanic activity, e.g., the Deccan traps in India, may have contributed, but the impact remains the largest single shock. The show likely includes expert commentary that the Chicxulub impact created conditions consistent with the extinction record, sudden dropouts of species, global debris layers, rapid climate change. It points to how this event changed the trajectory of life. If not for it, non-avian dinosaurs might have continued to dominate, mammals might not have taken their place. Unexplained mysteries and local legends. True to the series format, the episode explores mysterious or lesser-known aspects of the impact. The presence of over 1,000 cenotes, sinkholes, aligned around the crater ring in the Yucatan, which form a visible geological ring of water holes that roughly trace the crater's edge. This suggests the impact left structural weaknesses in the crust, influencing groundwater flow and collapse. Some local myths and traditions among Mayan culture reference fire from the sky or great floods, though the episode is cautious about linking them directly to the impact event given the event occurred 66 million years ago, long before humans. However, the host uses the metaphor of fire from the sky to draw dramatic parallels between ancient memory and cosmic disaster. The show may reference the idea of what-if scenarios. Could a similar event happen again? What would it look like to modern civilization? The episode draws the connection between ancient impact events and present-day threats from near-Earth objects, asteroids, comets. It also raises questions. Why is there still debate about the exact physics, air burst versus ground contact, magnitude of ejection, role of geologic setting? And why do we perhaps underestimate the interconnectedness of these global effects? Some of the unexplained threads, the exact mechanism by which the impact triggered worldwide conditions, the role of secondary effects, wildfires, acid rain, tsunami sediments, the uncertainties in modeling exactly how long the impact winter lasted. Scientific insights and takeaways. The episode presents several key scientific insights. 1. Crater identification and dating. The Chicxulub site was identified via geophysical surveys, drilling samples, and astute interpretation of geological markers. The crater's age corresponds nearly exactly with the boundary of the mass extinction. 2. Evidence of high-energy impact. Shocked quartz, melt glass spherules, iridium anomalies, tsunami deposits and a circular ring of cenotes all support the magnitude of the event. 3. Modeled consequences. Simulations suggest incredible winds 1,000 km per hour plus near the blast megatsunamis, global seismic waves, and dramatic climate disruption. 4. Ecological turnover. The fossil record shows a sudden loss of many species and the subsequent rise of new groups. The impact served as both end and beginning for various life forms. 5. Planetary vulnerability. The episode uses the Yucatan impact as a what-if scenario. If such an event occurred today, civilization could be at serious risk, despite advanced technology. 6. Interdisciplinary research. The show underscores how geology, paleontology, astronomy, climate modeling and even anthropology intersect in understanding this event. Throughout, the tone remains one of awe. The Earth is dynamic, vulnerable, and subject to forces far larger than human societies. The host invites viewers to consider both our past and our future in light of this cosmic event. Human and cultural reflections. Although the event predates human existence by tens of millions of years, the episode draws human relevance in several ways. It uses the catastrophe as a metaphor for fragility. No matter how dominant a species or ecosystem is, a sudden external shock can change everything. It invokes cultural themes of fire falling from the sky, found in indigenous mythologies, religious texts and folklore. While the show carefully notes that human memory cannot span 66 million years, it suggests that these metaphors may reflect recurring human reactions to existential risks. It raises philosophical questions. What is our place in the cosmos if Earth itself is vulnerable to random cosmic events? How do we prepare, technologically, politically, morally, for low-probability, high-impact disasters? It encourages viewers to look outward, to space, and inward, to Earth's geology, to understand the long-term survivability of civilization. The host's delivery connects the ancient past with present concerns. We live atop a planet that has been, and will be, subject to events far beyond human control. That perspective is humbling and urgent. Critical discussion. What we still don't know. The episode candidly acknowledges that while much is known, significant uncertainties remain. Precise modeling of how the impact generated so many secondary effects, global wildfires, acid rain, ocean acidification, is still debated. The exact role of volcanic activity, such as the Deccan traps, in the extinction event. Did volcanism work in concert with the impact, or was the impact alone sufficient? How ecosystems recovered in different regions, and the variability of extinction across different taxonomic groups. The probability of a similar event in the near future. Surveys of near-Earth objects are better but still incomplete, so the risk remains non-zero. The sociocultural dimension. How modern societies interpret ancient catastrophes, frame risk, and respond to the idea of fire from the sky. The show uses these uncertainties not as weaknesses but as invitations, to view science as an ongoing process, to recognize mystery as a driver of knowledge, and to appreciate how much remains to be discovered. The host may invite viewers to imagine themselves as part of the next generation of explorers. Visual highlights and production value. The episode benefits from high-quality reconstructions, CGI of the asteroid's approach, impact explosions, subsequent firestorms, and a map-based overlay of the Yucatán crater ring. There are underwater shots of cenotes, aerial sweeps of the peninsula, diagrams of shockwave propagation, and footage of field teams drilling cores. The dramatic editing underscores the magnitude of the event. Camera sweeps, time lapses, sound design emphasizing blast, wind, and silence. Meanwhile, expert voices, geologists, paleontologists, astronomers provide commentary that grounds the spectacle in research. The combination of storytelling and science is characteristic of the show's style, accessible yet grounded, mysterious yet evidence-driven. According to the series overview, the UnXplained blends witnesses, scientists, historians, to explore the world's most fascinating, strange, and inexplicable mysteries. Implications for today and tomorrow. The episode concludes with reflection on what the Yucatán impact means for us. It shows that Earth has experienced reset events in the past, and that life, including human life, eventually is resilient, but not immune. It prompts thinking about planetary defense, asteroid monitoring, mitigation strategies, global preparedness. The fire from the sky metaphor becomes a cautionary image for our time. It encourages a longer-term view of humanity. Civilization spans only a tiny fraction of Earth's history, cosmic timescales dwarf human ones. The host urges humility and responsibility. It suggests that understanding past catastrophes helps anticipate future ones. By learning the signs, mechanisms, and outcomes of major geologic or cosmic events, scientists can better plan and prepare. In short, the past is a mirror for the future. The episode invites viewers to ask, what if? What if the next fire from the sky is real and now? And what will we do about it? Conclusion. When Fire from the Sky Hit the Yucatán is a powerful episode of the UnXplained that uses one of the greatest global catastrophes in Earth's history to engage with science, mystery, and human meaning. The impact event at Chicxulub, beneath the Yucatán Peninsula, stands as both a historical fact and a symbol of planetary contingency. By blending geology, physics, paleobiology, and cultural reflection, the show gives viewers a chance to witness a moment when Earth forever changed, when a fire from the sky rewrote life's script. The host William Shatner frames it not just as a distant past, but as an urgent reminder of our vulnerability and our responsibility. If nothing else, the episode leaves one with the image of that cosmic bullet striking Earth, a plume of heat and shock, forests burning, seas roaring, and then a new world emerging.